Hey there, Annie Gishuru here, racial equity coach for online business owners who want to build businesses that are racially equitable so they can be intentionally inclusive. Now, today's lesson is all about how I got schooled on allyship, and I didn't see this coming. This is an interesting story. It's about the masterclass that I was paid to deliver and nobody turned up. And we're not talking about a small group of, 10 or so people or a small intimate mastermind. This was a course, a big group program with close to 100 people, and not a single person showed up. And so during the waiting and going like, oh my goodness, nobody is turning up for this, the host and I began to discuss, was it the topic? Was it the title? Was it the pre-work that they needed to do that may somehow have, scared them? And in the talking and trying to kind of find out how do we do this better, she said, you know what? This work is so incredibly important. And if they're not going to make time for a bonus masterclass, then what we're going to do, what I'd love us to do, is to embed inclusion into the course. So whilst I was thinking, oh, this doesn't look good, this has never happened to me before, is the demand for this work, is the desire and the interest for this work, not there anymore? Are online business owners seriously not prioritizing this work or seeing the value in this? So whilst I was in that bubble of thinking, well, I'm feeling really disappointed and wondering how I may have fallen short in terms of marketing and putting this particular masterclass together, the host was doubling down. The host was going in deeper in her allyship and saying, if they're not going to show up for a bonus masterclass, what we're going to do is ensure that it is part of the course that they're doing. So sprinkling inclusion throughout and applying it to the work that they're doing. And I thought that was incredibly amazing as an ally. And that's why I'm saying I got schooled on allyship. So where I was thinking, you've done your part, you've hired me, you've paid me, the people didn't show up. So I guess this is it. No, this is not it. We're going to double down. We're going to ensure that inclusion work is part and parcel of how I'm delivering and I'm showing up for this particular course that I've created. And that was really heartwarming. It was incredibly encouraging, but also goes to show that the work that I've been teaching, the way in which I've been articulating the value of inclusion is sinking in. A lot of online business owners are seeing the value, and not just the fact that it's something that needs to be on the side. Now it's beginning to shift to being something that is part of what they have to offer. It's part and parcel. And I believe this is what is setting people like this particular host and business owner apart from others, where others are trying to, add it here and there, and people potentially not watching these bonus videos, that this is being implemented as part of her offering. And I thought that was amazing. And I want to talk about why sometimes, or a lot of times, you don't see the urgency in inclusion and how that is hurting your business. Sometimes you don't see the urgency in inclusion because you're probably early on in your journey and you're thinking, well, I don't have much by way of investment in my business. And so right now I want to focus on what can grow my business income generation. And here's the thing about inclusion work. The sooner you begin, the sooner you can begin to apply those principles in your business. So if you're thinking, I'm going to wait until I grow or until I have enough money to invest in this work. And by the way, this work doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to cost you so much to invest in inclusion work. In fact, a huge bulk of this work is readily available, really. But if you're not prioritizing this work and looking to prioritize it down the track, the thing is, you'll have missed on so many opportunities to bring a lot more aligned clients who value inclusion along on your journey. So it's hurting your business and it's costing you. And how much sooner would you rather be working towards your inclusion journey? Because one thing that I have often said is that you cannot rush inclusion work. This is not work you're like, okay, I've done that course for 10 weeks. I'm good. I kind of know, some of the basics. This is lifelong work. So the sooner you begin it, the more at an advantage you are because you're able to address things as you go rather than later. Or when something has happened in the headlines, we're now dealing with another issue and you're like, I need to do something. I need to speak up in my community. I need to champion this work. By then, it's a little too late. You're trying to play catch up. But if this is work that you're beginning to do now, when there isn't potentially pressure, or you're not even seeing how there's an urgency or trying to prioritize it, if you can do it now and move along at your own pace, you're so much better off than leaving it to the side and focusing on what you think is just income generating and not seeing the connection between inclusion and your income generation. And so this schooling on allyship has been incredibly heartwarming, seeing somebody who would have flipped it and gone like, well, I've done my bit. I paid and invested in this work. I did not see the return. My students didn't, come for this really amazing bonus that I was offering. And so this is not work that I want to spend time or focus on. She dug deeper. She doubled down. And now I believe with the coming cohorts, it's going to have a different kind of impact. They're going to look at inclusion work as something that is not a good to have, but a must have.